Previously on the assignment.
It will either make or break this mission.
After days of traveling on rugged terrain and in sweltering heat, the team finally arrived in Yabelo. They began preparing visual messages about the story of Jesus for the Barona tribe, but within no time, arguing and disagreement took over.
They might remember it word for word, but
the only thing they acted out was the cross.
With only a few hours before their departure, the team still hasn't rehearsed any of their stories. And to make matters worse, the satellite phone isn't working, and certain team members are beginning to fear the worst.
Welcome to the assignment. It's been intense up to this point following Mission 111. They have been traveling from Addis Ababa to the capital, challenging journey on the road, the challenges of getting along, learning how to communicate, operating as a team, but now they're getting ready to be dropped into the tribe, and this is the point of no return.
Feel pretty good. I'm ready to get up in the air, get going. He's scared. The way he talks, the way he moves, the way he acts like he's scared.
This is the moment of truth. Will they have what it takes?
It's your safety, because if we overload it, because we haven't weighed it, you go down.
The Mission 111 team began their journey in Los Angeles, and after landing in Addis Ababa, they drove to Owassa and eventually arrived in Yabelo, where they are now preparing for flight into the Barona territory. But because of excessive weight, overloading the helicopters become a real problem.
We have people here who weigh 130 kilos, and I have 4 people on board and some luggage. It's already 5 kilos over.
Marcus has to make sure that they make it all the way to the Barona territory without any emergency landings.
The helicopter can only take so much weight, and they have to weigh everybody and everything that's going on so that it's not overloaded. If it's overloaded, they might not have enough fuel to get there.
We're going to try to cut it down and leave as much as we can at Hannah's house. Just take the very barest essentials with us.
Anyway, I'm just going to find out what the damage is.
Ready or not, this is the moment for the Mission 111 team to face reality, as they are about to be dropped into the Barona territory, a tribal area without a phone and without knowing what they're really getting into.
We don't have a phone right now. We have no way really of communicating with the outside world once we're in there. So we're all just praying that, God will look after us health-wise, injury-wise, in every way.
I can tell you this place is very difficult to access, and if it's raining, it's impossible to get there. It's called bush flying. We have only one helicopter. That's a big challenge. So I have not a backup. I cannot call someone else. On our recent trip, we had a problem with the fuel filter. There came a caution light on. So I'm glad I'm a mechanic and I can locate the problem and check it out and see if it's still good to go. I can really not imagine to get stuck somewhere out in the bush where I have to walk for days. In theory, this could happen, and we need to trust God that I can make it back.
This is a place called Marmaro, and the way I've seen, there's a lot of gathering of people in this place, and this is their first time to see a helicopter, and their first time to see white people in this place. That is why they are amazed at it and come to look for these white people to see what they are doing in this place.
After 3 successful flights, everyone has arrived, and Marcus won't be back for another 5 days. Everyone is anxious to meet members of the tribe, but they might have to wait. The Barona tribe leaders seem nervous about their new guests and are undecided about whether or not they want them to stay. Everyone is asked to meet under a tree. It's where all the community decisions are made.
Now we are going to meet the local leaders in this place. They are not informed before. Now they wanted to know the reason why we are here. Now we are going to meet them.
Thankfully for the Mission 111 team, Carl made a surprise visit to check up on things. He met with the local tribe leaders about the team's visit, and they have decided that permission can only be granted by the Borona King, a man with unlimited power and control in southern Ethiopia, and Carl is now on his way to meet him. Marcus and Carl will have to fly several hundred kilometers to meet the king, and on the way, they will pick up Hannah and a local government leader who will act as translators.
Abagedo is the name of the king, and we are now, we don't know. I mean, now we are in the bush. This king is governing here, this some 2 million people. They're influential, but still a very simple king of the people. They have a parliament. They elect him for 8 years. He will serve for 8 years, and they already know the king. They will follow him, and the king even following him. So they are appointing them in generations. We're excited. We believe that he has the key to the heart of the people. So let's see what's happening here. This is kind of shooting from the hip. You never know exactly what's going to happen here.
Coming up, a man with extreme wealth, authority, and 13 wives.
Yeah, we just arrived to the Borona King's village, and he's the one who's going into the village right now, and he has just become king this year, so he will be king for the next 8 years now.
Now we are in Gabagedo, the place of the king for the Borona people. Obviously, as you see, this is primitive living for a king of about 2 million people. But now we're at the place, the house, the home of the king. It's very important for you to know that I have not come with religion. There is many religious teachings around the world. And many of those is man's interpretation how man can make peace with God. But we believe that every people can find peace with God.
Kadoomi kun kwaam sana chille awwitanii dinduftanii qaye gadaa garree iddoo abbaa gadaa garree nam diqqaa guddanni qab garree naannoo inni bulchi garreettanii tanaaf dhuftanii akkumsan gammaddan sunulleen guddootti gammannaa.
We will visit his home. The king is enormously open, very open. We have been discussing, telling them, of course, what we believe is the answer, Noah. And the king and his parliament here, the leaders, have the people in their hand. The wise king lead the people in a good way, and they are very open. They want to continue lead and have fellowship with us. They invited us to spend the night and kill a goat tonight, but we are going to just fly with him around in a trip and continue with our relationship. What he said is he wants us to become one like that. He said, this is very good. You have come this far. We want to know you, and we want to be one. Even with the teaching here. So we think that this is unbelievable. We are very excited, and we are just trusting that this was today history made right here. It's exciting.
After meeting with the king, the team has been given permission to stay. Now, both sides of this newly formed relationship will have to learn how to communicate and live with each other.
When we land here, first, the people who are here, they are afraid of what we are. They were watching the helicopter and they ran. Some of them they flee to the bushes and they hide. And some of them, especially the big peoples, they come to us and they accepted us. And they say, why do you come here? And the ladies here, they say, you have more powerful than us, and you can't destroy us, or you can't do anything what you want here, they said. And tell us why do you come here? they say, and they asked us. And we told them that we came here for peace because we love you. We come here, not for other purpose.
Is this their first time to see white man here?
I don't know. But when they see white man, they are confused, you know. They are watching people, and even they didn't know the white girl. And they say, they have a lady? They say, they don't know, you know.
Okay, where are we going to sleep, Jeff?
Well, we have a couple of choices. I mean, people can sleep right in here. We could put out a plastic sheet, and you could just put your mat and sleeping bag right on it, or if you want to set a tent up and sleep in the tent, that's fine with me, as long as everybody's happy.
Do you think we need the mosquito netting or not?
Me, personally, I don't think so. But
It's pretty dry.
I'm not going to tell anybody
Right.
not to use them.
Exactly.
It is dry. I think it's the off-season for mosquitoes.
In the beds that were down there, they all had mosquito nets over them. So I don't know if that was because it had been bad with mosquitoes, or if it's still bad with mosquitoes, or if they just do it year-round because.
How many of you have seen a mosquito since we got here?
There's no water.
Since there's no water, there is no mosquitoes.
No, and there hasn't been water for quite a while. Things are very, very, very dry. The helicopter pilot, Marcus, was telling me that, you know, just flying over and looking at the dried up water beds, he said it's been dry here for quite a while. So I would say no mosquitoes. So, suit yourself.
Coming up.
When I was 9, 10 years old, I felt this sense of asked to do something greater, but turned out to be running from this.
Carl and Jennifer Hargeston discuss their call and journey to the mission field.
When I was 11 years old, I had to write an essay on what I wanted to become when I grow up. And without even a question, I knew I wanted to become a missionary.
When I was 9, 10 years old, I felt this sense of asked to do something greater, but turned out to be running from this a number of years, through my teen years, and coming to this place where a friend of mine has a brand new sports car, and he want to show off really. We end up I'm being the passenger sitting in this car, and this is in Stockholm in Sweden, and we get into that car, and he takes off with his car, drives way too fast, and it's slightly wet, it's raining, and he loses control of this car and end up rolling it.
I got a little sidetracked in high school because I had a scholarship to play basketball. And I remember not being satisfied with the decision of playing ball in a university. And before I accepted the scholarship, I made a full circle turn and said, I want to study missions. And that led me to go to a Bible college.
I'm, without seatbelt, thrown out of this car from where it stopped rolling, more than 100 meters, almost 300 some feet further away. I'm landing on my head with skull fracture in coma. So they didn't believe I was going to make it. This is do or die moment where I need to make a decision, and I make this decision to surrender to God and whatever call He has on my life.
He had a severe bleeding of his brain, and that was kind of life-altering for him. But even after that, he took everything to the limit.
I had this vision that is my second defining moment. I'm seeing this massive hillsides of people, and I'm seeing a helicopter coming in there, and I am certain that Jesus spoke to me and said, I want you to give your life for this assignment. So this became somewhat of a definition to my assignment. I had said yes for the first defining moment. Now I started to find direction. So I sell whatever I have, and then I buy this one-way ticket to America and come to learn to fly a helicopter.
In the process of going to serve in an internship in the Philippines, I met my husband, Carl. First person I met that really wanted to help people and give his life to help others.
Before I learned to fly, I had never been in a helicopter. But it became to me the symbol of being able to reach people in places where you could not reach with any other mean, not an airplane, not a road, or maybe with a donkey, but most likely not even with a donkey or a horse. So for me, helicopter is a symbol of pushing the frontier, if you will, and going to places where no one else can. It's an amazing tool to accomplish the assignment that I feel is upon my life, which I define as one chance for every person, reaching people around the world that have not been discovered really as we know it.
I think you have to try to not be controlled by fear. I think you have to eliminate that and really try to go beyond fear and realize that it might be a little bit inconvenient, it might be a little bit uncomfortable, but if you would just respond in one person's need, then you realize that, wow, that not only helped her, it helped me realize that I can make a difference in the world. My message is that if we would respond to someone that has a need, it will change their life and my life. And I think the world would look different today.
Coming up, Carl and Jennifer Hargeston share more stories from the mission field. Then, the Mission 111 team have now realized that they've landed in the middle of a water crisis, and their supply is running dangerously low.
There was one girl, her name was Sahai, and she found out that she had AIDS. And when she learned she had it, she went into a pretty big depression. She became very ill very quickly because of the depression and because she just thought, oh, now for the rest of my life, I'm just gonna wait to die. We began to really support her, pray for her, give her a message of hope, and all of a sudden, she really took a hold of that. We gave her a loan, and so she started her own little business, and she went to buy a few things and she would resell them. That got her to realize that, wow, I can really do something with my life. Then she wanted to learn to read, and so we helped her learn how to read. And do you know today that this girl, she has a home, she started a home, and she's having 6 street boys live, and she's the mother of several street children, and she is the main caretaker of these kids that were living on the streets.
Many times we didn't know where we were going. We just leave it to the local evangelists or missionaries, and they had appointed this mountain called Mount Horo. On this mountain here, it was supposedly a very resistant area. Now resistance meaning it was a witch doctor that was very influential, and he had control over this mountain, and I don't know, they estimate 150,000 people around this mountain, and it's very high. It's over 11,000 feet, some 12,000 feet high. And on top of this mountain there is a big rock, and there they have a big worship altar built of stones where they sacrifice cows and pray to the spirit of this mountain, Mount Horo. We decided that this has been a resistant area and difficult to penetrate, so we said to them, let's have a meeting next to the worship altar. When we announced this, the witch doctor became angry and announced to the people, we're going to sacrifice and pray to the spirit of this mountain, the spirit of Horo. If he cannot stop the helicopter and this guy to come, we're going to go and hear what he has to say, because if our God is not stronger than his God, we want to hear what they have to say.
That's how you know that the message is working, that me investing in someone is going to cause them to invest in someone else.
So I'm speaking to this tribe. I said, I'm standing here because I'm marked by the blood of Jesus. And the first person to come forward there is the witch doctor and his household. And he says, now me and my house, we have seen its only power in the blood of Jesus. And he gets saved, and the whole family there. And And I don't know, it was a hillside of people. I don't know how many thousands of people that came to faith that day, but somehow it transformed that whole mountain.
I realized a few years ago, working in Ethiopia, that giving handouts is not meeting needs. It's a dignity that they receive. And I think that causes them to take a responsibility and move into a higher place in life.
It's amazing, but over 10 years, he is still going, and he's still going from village to village, and he only has one message. There's only power in the blood of Jesus. And he's the evangelist, this witch doctor today on that mountain. The team has no idea that they're landing in the middle of a crisis. There's been a water shortage for 3 months. The storage is empty. Water that we take for granted, millions of people live without.
I just want to say that I went to go look at all the water things, and they're completely flipped over. This one right here is completely empty that's in front of the building.
None. The only water that you see here, the one I'm sitting on, is the only water that's here right now.
The sun is going down fast and the team still hasn't unpacked. Some are retiring early for the day while others prepare some supper with an old propane stove. It's not gourmet, but this combo of noodles and canned goods will definitely hit the spot.
Do we have a lot of snakes? Like, how many? Will they get in our tent? Yeah? All this area?
Even around the tents?
In the tents too?
When?
But snakes are the least of their worries. Everyone is hungry, tired, and ready for bed. On the next episode of The Assignment, members of the Brona tribe discover water in the Mission 111 camp, and fights break out between team members about whether or not to share their remaining water supply. Don't miss the next episode, which captured on tape what can only be described as a miracle. Jesus,